Hello, and welcome back to my craft room. This is Marjorie, and I hope you've all had a very good week and had a lovely weekend. Today we're going to go back at some junk mail. So if you may remember, last week we made this out of a piece of junk mail, and that's it would go on the page this way. You would glue it around here, and it would flip, have a tag inside it. Then it would flip open. There's a pocket there. Your tag goes there. You have a writing space and another tag. So that was last week's junk mail. So this week, this week as the mail started coming in, I thought of doing it a different way. So this week, again, this is one envelope, and this week it is the front with a little bit of writing there, and it flips down for a writing page there, and then it flips up for writing here and here. And you would glue it on your page. It has a little clasp there, and you would glue it on your page so that you could have a tag coming out of it this way if you wanted, or you could have a tag come out of it this way. So it is more a writing spot than a writing piece of ephemera with your tag or your tuck being created by how you glue it on your page. So how did we go about doing this? Well, for this week, sorry I can't get that whole thing in the frame. For this week we are going to leave one end glued, and we're going to cut, I have no idea how I opened this. We're going to cut a thin slice off the end. And down each side. And I'm doing this with the scissors. You could do this with your different cutters if you wanted. So what we have is we have an envelope that opens up this way. And like my envelope, there is a one of your windows. We're actually not going to use this window except to have it be a piece of art on our pocket. So you could very easily make this pocket out of an envelope without one of these lovely windows on it. So the first thing that you're going to do is decide so I took I clearly cut this end. So this one's going to be a little different. It does matter what end you cut. So I'm going to cut this end here. And I'm going to glue these two together. Yes. Like I said, as soon as I sit down in front of this wonderful video camera, I'm going to start making mistakes. So I'm going to get my glue out. So remember, when you cut it, you want to cut it so that your window piece is closest to this end. And I'm using for this a piece of piano roll paper that Tooks Craft Table sent me in some Happy Mail. So the leaves, the autumn leaves here are just amazing. Beautiful colors. So yesterday Paul and I went for a drive and really enjoyed ourselves. So now what we're going to do is create the actual flip here, because we're not going to use this fold, so that's why that's not really going to be that important. I'm going to fold this just so that it comes to the end of this piece of window, and then I'm going to bring this piece down as far as I want it to about there, I think. Just far enough up so you can create a space to make your closure. And then this, I'm going to put another piece of paper on there just to hold it, I think. I do like things to not flip around. So we had ribs, barbecued ribs, and ham, mashed potatoes, peas, and cream corn for our Thanksgiving dinner. And my daughter-in-law, Kelsey, made an amazing cake. They flew in from BC, so that was very nice. So the next thing you can just, what I did is you leave the back. I guess you could cover the back if you wanted to make this some sort of a tuck piece, but I didn't. So the next thing I did was I decided what paper I wanted to put down the middle of it. So for mine, I am going to use, of course there's none here, just hang on a minute. I will get this all organized at some point in time. So here is some tea-dyed paper that I did this summer. I'll set that one up here and out of the way as my example. And it is bigger than my paper. However, I do want to strengthen this edge, so I'm going to fold that over, because that edge is going to have the flip on it, so I want it to be strong. So I'm going to glue that down. Yeah, all right. So for the first piece that I made, what I did was I just used a piece of scrap paper here. For this piece, however, I think I'm going to use one long piece going from the top to as far down as it will go. So from here to as far down to here. Actually, it only needs to go to here. What am I talking about? Because I have to decorate this side. Oh my goodness. Alright, so let's just do this. So this is going to go, and because it's all white envelope paper, I'm not leaving any kind of a border. You can hear my neighbor outside, which is fine. He's blowing leaves and, oops, make it a bit longer, Marjorie. Mowing his lawn. And being perfect on cutting this out is not important, because you will decorate. So you can decorate wherever you don't like what you got. Alright, so that's good, and I can get it to the side. So now what I want to do is check the envelope to make sure. You see, like this piece where it's not glued down, you want to make sure that gets glued down. Okay. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to sew all the way around here, so I'm going to use glue stick. And I'm going to glue this in sections so that I don't have it going spiraling out of control, which it often does for me. So I have my roller and my spreading tool. Matching it up top to bottom. Really making sure that it's down well. And these little corners here, I will use my other glue for. And I do like to put the fold in it just so that I know where it is. And then that would, oh, let's see, it's going to come just, well, that's maybe, I'm going to rip it a little bit because I don't want it coming, like it's going to come right on that fold. Actually, I'm going to cut it, which will make making that fold quite difficult. Again, doing this in sections. Matching it up as best I can. And we will trim this side up when we're done. So now we have the fold there, up here. So this, I guess you could leave this and have a nice piece of paper on this side for this to show through. In this one here, I did not. And this one I left it so that it would be a writing page. And I like the strength of this, so I'm going to do the same thing. But know that you could just decorate and put something here that has a pretty picture on it, so that it could do that. But I want this to be quite strong, and I'm going to put writing paper on this side. So now I need to go to my scraps and see if there's anything in here that I like that would make a nice except that's tracing paper, and I probably want to use that on something else. That's pretty. That's what I'm going to use right there. So, to ensure that I get it where I want it, I am going to just lay down a bead and flip it up, push it down, and then where's my roller again? Roll it into place. Oh, I even got a nice writing spot on that side, so I don't have to, when I collage there, I don't have to worry about that. So now I will put that in the scrap bin. And that in the scrap bin. And what's fun about this project is the construction. There's lots more decorating than constructing. So again, I want to go through here and I like when pages fold over on each other, like strengthening the top here. All right, so that one. Covering up Dear Cirrus here. And what I mean by strengthening the edges is I'm going to fold it over and bring it right down here. I like to stop taking my allergy pills about this time. However, this year, with all the grass and leaves and how warm it was, my allergies just seem to be continuing to be a little nasty. So there, we've started to build the writing collage on this side. And I'm just going to lay down some more glue here because you don't want this opening up on anybody. All right, so we've got our first piece of paper down. That's a bit busy. Oh, I like that. And do the same thing again. Lots of people have really good videos on how to keep these windows open. So I'm just going to muddle through and let you go through and find those if you want them. My way is just to lay it over and hope for the best. And now again we can lay this side over here, but we do need to cut this side. Thank you to all my new followers and all the kind comments that were made from my last video. I was thinking at 200 I might do a giveaway of some ephemera. Mail it out to people. Alright, so now we need to do this side. And I like to keep my decorative scraps just so that I can, well, that would be nice up there, but if I turned it around, balance those two things off. Now, I know that's upside down, but who's going to know but us, eh? Who is going to know but us? I'm going to lay that one right to the edge because we've got this paper on the other side. So I don't need to reinforce that yet again. Now so far, short of this paper, which was a full piece of coffee dyed paper, I have used scraps from my little scrap pouch. So it is good to keep even the wee little ones, because that's what we use there. I don't keep this forever, I just keep it for a while, and then when I've been through them a few times and not used them, then I just get rid of them. Like little pieces like that would be perfect right there. So as long as they're not white paper, I figure I've got ink on them. I have to do this piece right there. There. All right. So I'm not going to use that piece. Put it back in the drawer along with that roll of paper. So I'm going to use this one here and extend it part way into there, I think. Maybe rip it on an angle. Yep, I like that. It's kind of like putting a quilt together or a jigsaw puzzle without having all the pieces. It's just kind of fun. I do like puzzles, so and the papers that I'm using are again from Took's Craft Table, and they all go together so well. you really almost don't have to worry about. All right. How they're going to go together, you just know they are. I find, and that's with all of the creators that I work with. Studio, I keep their papers together in one area so that I can do this, just grab and go. So I find the same with Studio 28E. Yeah, that her papers all go together, and I have them in a box, and we'll work with them. I'm just going to put it on a bit of an angle so that it goes over this corner here and covers that upside down wording that only we know about. Don't tell anybody. Heaven forbid people know I put stuff on upside down. So there, we've got this first side done. And we will decorate that. Later, I think I'm going to cut that. That almost looks too small to fold over. Are all the pieces glued down? No, this one here is not. So then, for this next, so that's this side. So for this side here, which is, you see this will be another writing paper, so we'll just put, could actually put that down, but I wish it would just go a different direction. Dum 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 dum. This is my coffee dyed paper. Ouch. I cover up all of that piece though. So this is a great project for your scrap bin. All right, so we're going to need to put something right here. Oh, there we go. Again, one of these just long pieces of paper that didn't get used for anything else that will be a perfect size for covering this fold up. And I am not saying this is my original. I'm sure there are other people who have done it, and standing at my counter, it's what came to mind. So probably there's someone has inspired me, and we will just say that I don't think there's any of these things that are original anymore. We're all just using our creative ability. Okay, so now the last piece of laying down background paper before we get to decorate is this one. And I consider this one as important as the face page because it's what you see here. So you could make it a writing page, most definitely. I'm going to try and make it a decorative page. And that looks nice. And what I'm doing is in front of me here I have a folder that has all kinds of scrap paper in it. So what have we got on the front? We've got a blue bird, so I could use this one here. That's the one I'll use. So I'm going to set this aside, get out my tear ruler, and just tear the edges. Now again, I'll keep this piece of paper, throw that one away. So here is my base paper. Now I have to decide what I want more of this, so how much of this would go in there. Oh, all the way to there. And so it would cut off. I like that being there. The other way it's going to look like this. I think that this is the way it's going to go. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do this. I have that piece for something else. And then this piece. And again, I will cut down anything that is over the edge once I'm done. And that looks just about perfect. I'm going to use my glue stick because I am going to sew all the way around the outside of this. So. Make sure I'm still recording. Yep. Because I want this to be in, I'm going to make sure it's at the top. Take my trusty tool. right, so we have that. Flips open like this with a writing space top and bottom, but we do have, I'm going to cut this off, that's going to annoy me. I find if it distracts from my eye, I'm not able to decorate well. I just get frustrated with it, so cut those off. So the next piece I did is I make the punch. The circle punch here, the holder. Now, I don't know if I have my, yes I do. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is take a scrap piece of cardboard here that I have. And I'm going to cut a circle. No, I'm going to wait. So I need to find paper that's going to sit right there nicely. And there it is, right there. So I'm going to rip that off. And what I like to do is glue it down. And punch it out. So it will come down like this. And I will, where is my, what I'm looking for is right there. I don't think she has, this might be a bit smaller. I don't like it. Alright, so let's see about using some of Tracy Fox's. No, I don't like those either. So I'm going to glue this down and then I will work from there. I think I'm going to ink this. I ink the entire edge of the piece after it is sewn. Okay, do people know what I did with my glue? Gonna grab a drink. There it is. Put it in the box there where it should be. So I want to glue the top of this. That silly scratch in my voice. Okay, so I'm going to take this out, press that in there, and think about what might go there. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is turn the video off, and I'm going to stitch all the way around the outside and then add my decorations. I like how the decorations break up the stitching, just creates extra interest. So I do add them last. So we'll see you in a few minutes. So now it is sewn all the way around. And we can start decorating. So I like it to be closed when I start. And I have myself surrounded by all of my little drawers of different types of fussy cuts and tags and things. I have some lace sitting over to my side here. Now, why I'm not going to put lace on, or not bulky lace, maybe some flat lace, because when you open it up, you want to be able to write. And so I get quite annoyed when I get journals that are quite bulky where I want to write. So, and I treat this as, I look at it as one page so that I can see what I'm working with. So I've got a yellow bird, so something yellow in here. So this is one of, I think it's Tracy Fox's tea cards. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for yellow. No, too big. Might be nice on the inside though. Oh, that's pretty. Now this is Tim Holtz. That's too... Well, is it too big? I actually like that a lot. So rather than dilly-dally, I'm just going to go with it, and I'm going to ink it up and lay it down. I think that looks really nice, sort of falling into the other there. I enjoy it when it comes together quite quickly, without a lot of fuss and bother. as that one did. Now do I want to add a little tag to it? I like that. Okay, I like that. Now this is a self-adhesive. I've printed it off on label paper. And I cannot remember whose it is. Sorry about that. It was before I started keeping track. But because it's quite old, I'm going to add some more glue to the back of it, just to make sure it stays there. And this was printed on coffee dyed paper, so I don't need to worry about the edges of it. And I'm going to call that done. So now I need to flip this open, and I'm dealing with this page. So we have a butterfly. So I think what I want is, this might be where I use a small piece of lace and that's a moth. That's kind of pretty. A little pink one is nice. So that looks nice with this page. So now when I open this, does it look okay with that page? Yes, it does. And I want to have a label on this. I actually want a big label. These are Tracy Fox's. Okay, like that. You have to open all the boxes. You don't remember what you have unless you open all the boxes. I got these in Happy Mail. Too many choices. Maybe it'd be better if I didn't have all this stuff out. Now where's that yellow one? Maybe this is where I want to use it. No. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Right there. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue this down. I really enjoy the decorating part of it. And no, I'm not very chatty, and I apologize for that. But I'm just enjoying the crafting today. Quite honestly, the more I talk, the more mistakes I make, for the most part. This is not vintage lace. This is a synthetic tablecloth, or drape. I think it was a drape actually, but it has these flowers which I like, so I end up using it quite a bit. Now this I need to pay attention to because some of these are stamps. And this would be from AliExpress probably. Yes. Okay. So again I'm going to add glue to it. Not good when you, oh no, not that glue. I need it to go over fabric. So put that down. Go back to my Fabri-Tac. Down there. So my husband has started, had his very first real piano lesson. When he was done, she worked well with him. I could tell that he was really working hard, getting his brain thinking of patterns, which of course, if you know anything about brain damage, that's one of the things that goes, is their ability to think through patterns. But with the music, it was easier. And at the end of it, I asked him how he thought he did, and he said, "Oh, I think I did well." And I said, "You did." He said, "But I was so afraid, so frightened." And I said, "Frightened of what?" He says, "I've never been playing music." As a farmer, the idea of sitting playing music just frightened him. So I like how that looks. And then it opens up like this. I like how that looks. So now we have this page here. Now I have some clusters that I found in a box that I made a while ago. I don't know if they'll be any good on this. see what I got. Well, that one's not going to work. Too bright. That one's not bad. That one's even better. So what I've done here is just glued old stamps to a I like it. So that was easy. So this is where you get to use old, when you make clusters. So I would have done this sitting around watching TV with my husband and made these. And that makes a very fast and efficient addition. The only thing you want to be careful of is when you do them is gluing them down all over so that no part stands up. So these would have been fussy cut out of books. Well, that one's nice. And another piece just caught my eye. I see that I did some in an upright position and put a tab on them. What, does that look too much? See, that would be too much because I'm going to have a tag in there, so I don't want to use those. But see, those are tag ones, which would have been nice to use along up the side of the paper. Nope, nope. Oh my, why do those all have tabs on them? They would have been so nice without the tabs. Well, I keep trying to put that one in, so let's just do it. So there's the fold. I have it moving up the page. Okay. So far we've got this, which opens out to this, which is nice, which opens out to that, which I like. And so I only have this one here to do. There goes the ambulance. Well, I'm kind of excited that I'm using these old clusters here. That one's too big. That one's quite dimensional. There's no blue in this anywhere, so that's not going to work. I'm going to have to make some of these that don't have anything on them. I think I'm going to use this one. So there, I think that, put my clusters back in my cluster jar. I'm going to have to make some of those. We'll have to do that next time, is make those edges pieces, just so that I can use them, because they would have been nice on there just on an edge. So I need to make sure that everything's glued down here. I'm going to cut that off. Alright, so now I'm going to ink the edge and we're going to call it done. And I'll show you the pieces side by each. This is a great scrap buster, because really that's all I used was scraps. Using junk mail that would have ended up in the trash. Just going to glue that down a bit more. Do it when you see it. And these little white edges, when you ink them up, they disappear. You don't see them anymore. And there we are. Another craft with me done. And I'll get the other one out. Where is it? Where did it go? Here it is. So here they are. The two envelopes. Again, just watch where you cut out so that this is the short end. This is the one that I did while I waited for you, or my prototype. And again, that is one continuous writing page. And this is the one we did together. one continuous writing page. Thank you so much for coming along and crafting with me today. I hope you have fun. If you make any of these, please tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see them. Thank you very much and have a great day.